Yeah, I think that there are basic things that, if I may, everyone should do in order to anchor their body and their mind in the most productive rhythm that they possibly can. The most important things are the foundational practices, which are get your sleep right.
I fell in love with an essay by Strangest Loop, and it is a list of things that are not doing the thing. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing.
The moment you begin working is when your output per unit of time goes up.
Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world.
Hi, welcome to another day in my life as a developer. In this video, I'm mostly going to discuss about the three major things which I changed in my life, which have boosted my productivity in general, and which allows me to focus on not just my professional life, but my health, also my hobbies, and in general, I seem to do a lot more with the same amount of time. As a developer, I have tried many things and experimented with a lot of productivity tips in my past. I have read many books, watched countless videos on YouTube. I have even struggled with procrastination for so long, and with this weak productivity, there was a sense of not completing anything even after putting a lot of time and effort. If any of this seems a bit relatable to you, then I think this video might help you in gaining some insights on what worked for me. But before that, let's start our day with today's tasks. So what is the priority for the day today? I have to migrate our storage solution to Bunny CDN. Now you might ask why. First of all, we are using Firebase storage, which do provide storage solutions, and it's pretty easy with their SDKs, which we implemented initially for our recording app. But now it's becoming kind of a bottleneck and it's not giving us all the features which we would require. As our app relies a lot on video streaming, we want the video solutions to be transcoded into MP4 and into multiple formats from 360p to HD to 4K. But to make this work on Firebase storage, I'll have to either write these things or maybe use some third-party extensions or plugins, which can again make things a bit messy. So I was looking in the market for a solution and I found out two good solutions for this. One is Cloudflare Stream and another is Bunny CDN. Whereas Cloudflare Stream and Bunny CDN providing almost similar things, but I liked the UX of Bunny CDN, the UI, the DevX, much more. And they are also providing these features, which is like automatically transcoding, giving transcription of the videos. So I can also get the SRT file and it gives us the thumbnail. Also, it gives you these animated WebP versions. So I can show a user a preview, a moving preview of the recorded versions. So yeah, this is the priority for the day. Let's do and migrate our upload function from Firebase to Bunny CDN. But while I do this, let's talk about the number one thing which worked for me. And that was prioritization. Now, this is not rocket science, and I think everyone has talked about it, how you need to pick the one most important task. Now, what is this most important is very subjective for everyone, and there is no right answer. It seems very easy and kind of a no-brainer when someone asks you to prioritize your task. But here is something which I learned after a very long time. Prioritization is not just writing everything you need to do and pick the important one. It is majorly removing everything else which is not important. And this is the process which takes a kind of a learning and it's not so easy to do. So first thing what I do is, usually I make a list of 10 things which I definitely want to do this month, which are like the most top 10 things which I want to do in month of May. So let's write them down here in this list. Now, what I have to do is I have to remove 7 items from this list so I can only focus on the top 3, and I have to be very careful on what I want. So this is the process which takes most of your time. First of all, coming up with the 10 things which you want to do and then removing the rest 7 things because you will not be focusing on them at all, just picking the top 3. Then I would write 10 things on each individual those 3 items. What are the things I want to break them down and might be like an actionable point. So once I have these actionable items ready, those will become my to-dos for the whole day. and then I can plan my days accordingly. So with this clear list, I have everything what I need to do in the month of May, and I also have a daily Todoist. I use a lot of apps like Todoist, which holds all of my tasks which I have to do. They could be work related or non-work related. I put them here as a to-do, and then I use Linear for my work related task because I want to see the progress of the whole project, how is it going. And all those tasks usually come from this prioritization which I do monthly, and then I also go through this every Sunday for like 20 to 30 minutes to see if the next week is looking like I'll be able to finish most of the things which I'm picking up. So yeah, this is what prioritization looks like in my case. It has worked wonders for me, and I'm able to do a lot of things, finish things, and move ahead gradually and see my progress. Now, coming back to the work which I'm doing. So I have written this function and it's successfully uploading the files to BunnyCDN. I have created some collections here. It's working very smoothly, and I can see the transcodings are happening. I'm very happy with this. Even the thumbnails are available. One other good thing about BunnyCDN is they provide CDN out of the box. So I can host these storage options in US, in Europe, and in Singapore. So all of our clients will have a very low latency when they are downloading these files or streaming our web app. So makes this app much faster. Now I think it's time for lunch. Okay, so a lot of work is already done and I have completed the upload function and currently testing it now. The main problem was to get the authorization token, as I don't want to keep the sensitive API key in my app. I need to make an API endpoint which would trigger these APIs, create a authorization token which will be one time used with an expiry key, and give it to our app. So every time a user can upload with a new key. Now coming back to the second thing, which is again very important for me, that is tracking. So I have been obnoxiously tracking a lot of things in my life. The number one thing which I started tracking was how much work I've been doing. I have tried using an app called Rise. I use Linear to track how the progress is going. I do not currently work in sprints in team, but I make a sprint for myself so that I can keep track of how much task got completed in terms of like percentage, how many tasks I picked up, so I can see the momentum which is being building, or if I'm lagging behind on something. So yeah, this is a very personal choice to track or not track, but I generally do track everything around me. And one important thing which I do track is my sleep as well. I want to know how good I slept, because that is what the third point which I want to jump to. The third thing which I changed in my life is sleep. Since my college years, I have been the kind of person who always neglected sleep and thought of it as a thing which I have to do so my body can work properly the next day. I used to keep it as bare minimum by drinking a lot of caffeine. I used to drink a lot of Red Bull, used to work late nights till 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or even 6 a.m. in the morning. I always thought like I can sleep anytime. I can just sleep 3 hours and I'll be fine. Then gradually I noticed my productivity is going, I'm procrastinating more, my days are not very well defined. Then I started reading quite a lot of books around productivity, and one thing which was always constant in every book or every discussion you have around productivity online is sleep. And I started tracking my sleep, and I made sure I'm sleeping minimum 6 to 8 hours every day. And after that I started tracking my sleep using this app called Ultrahuman. They have this smart ring which I usually wear while sleeping, and here is all the data which it shows. For a better sleep, there are a couple of things which I always do is to not take caffeine after 12 p.m. I am very caffeine sensitive, so I always avoid taking high caffeine like coffee or Red Bulls after 12 p.m. After 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. I generally avoid doing any logical work which could include coding. Coding uses a lot of your logical brain. It triggers those machines which are hard to stop very easily. It's not in your control most of the time. And secondly, some logical or adrenaline producing activities like running, exercising, these all make my sleep quality worse, which I understood after tracking all the data. So I make sure I'm not doing all these things before sleep. So 6 to 7 p.m. I try to start winding up, spending time on reading, writing, or just making these videos, which are not very adrenaline building activities, also are not very logical activities, which will keep me awake whole night. And this has worked really well for me. Okay, so in the evening after finishing my work, I went outside, and I generally do these beach walks whenever I have got time. I generally try to see as many sunsets as possible. And today I took my book. I was reading in a cafe. I took my hot chocolate. I was reading in there, and I'm currently reading again the same book. It's a very small book, but I haven't finished it. I'm almost at 80%. I'll try to finish it up maybe this week. That's the plan. And we have a lot more new subscribers from my recent video. Most of my videos are not like that movie style, and generally these are these kind of videos where I do share what's happening in my life in general. And currently the plan is in May to release this Mac app, which I've been working on, the bug which I fixed, and the progress have been really good in this last week. Secondly, these are some of the things. One is like prioritization, second is tracking a lot of things, third is the sleep, which is the most important for me. And I generally try to sleep at around 11:30 or 12ish, and wake up at around 6:30 or 7. I've tried and experimented with a lot of things, and these are the three things which I feel have given me the most impact. There are a lot of other things which I would like to share about in coming videos slowly, but these are the three important things. If I would want to again start from somewhere, I would start from fixing these three things in my life. Now, productivity is something which is very specific to every individual. I know this worked for me, this might not work for you, this might not work for everyone. So anyone generally in my personal life asks me for opinion on productivity, I generally give them this opinion that experiment with a lot of things. All the books almost give kind of similar opinions or similar ideas. So try experimenting slowly and keep building your own rhythm. Every person has their own rhythm. So you would find your rhythm. You would find what works for you, what doesn't work for you. It's a long process, long journey. There is no silver bullet which will fix everything or every productivity thing. I'm still trying. I'm still experimenting with a lot of things in generally in my life. And making this video is kind of an experiment in itself. But yeah, too much talk. I'll be creating another video around the productivity topic maybe next month with more details. Okay, thank you so much for all the new subscribers. I'll be making another video very soon. Talk to you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.